Hello, my name is Kelly McDougall. I'm the District e-learning contact and an academic consultant in the program department in the field of technology. Today, we're going to be looking at the Google Workflow Update in Brightspace by D2L. When we acknowledge a traditional territory, we are confirming our commitment to Indigenous education by recognizing a group that's been marginalized in education for generations. This protocol demonstrates to our First Nation, Métis, Inuit staff, students, parents, and community partners that we want to ensure that their children see themselves reflected in the board and in our schools. Please join me in the land acknowledgement. We are here to pay respect and recognize that this land is the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations, and we are here because this land was occupied. In recognizing that this space occupies colonized First Nation territories, and out of respect for the rights of Indigenous people, it is our collective responsibility to recognize our colonial histories and present-day implications, and to honor, protect, and sustain this land. I'll ask you now to quiet your mind and heart as we enter into God's presence for our prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Creator God, we praise you, the source of all life. Renew our faith and guide us in our ministry as Christian leaders. Let us touch the hearts and minds of those with whom we work. Lord Jesus, share with us your counsel so we may choose knowledge over ignorance, wisdom over waste, peace over injustice, community over isolation, and service over domination. Holy Spirit, nurture our growth, inspire us to give birth to the creative power within us. Let us come to the fullness of life promised in the gospel. Amen. Learning goals. Today, participants will become familiar with the Google App widget, scheduling Google Meet sessions and announcements, and the activity feeds. Quick links. The workflow for drawing Google elements from your content tool from your Google Drive. Using Embed, how students can upload to the assignment folder directly from their Google Drive, how to create a Google template, and how to attach a link to your Google Classroom in your D2L course. To begin, let's review what are quick links. A quick link is a way for teachers to insert a direct link to content that is inside or outside of their course. Quick links are available through the following tools: announcements, activity feed, calendar, discussions, assignment folder, and content. When you click on the quick link icon, you'll see a list of elements that you can draw in. For example, the Google Meet function is accessed through D2L quick links. The best tools for creating Google Meets are your activity feed and your announcements. And please remember, when your students are signed up for notifications, they'll get an alert by text or email when your posts are released in the course. So that's a one-way push of information that would alert them that there's something posted in your course. I'm going to switch modes now and go to the live demonstrations, but please know that each demonstration I'm using today is posted in an individual link to this slide deck, and you can access them in the future when you need to review. So to begin, we're going to be looking at the Google Apps widget, and you can find it on our organizational homepage on the right-hand side. So you'll see here you have access to your calendar and your Google Drive. When you click on the icon, it pops you out to the tool. If I want to stay right here, I can click on the Drive tab and I could search for elements from my drive if I like. The things that you've been working on most recently will populate to a list here, or you can perform a full search if you'd like to. Now I'm going to navigate to one of my course spaces. I'm selecting it from my drop-down. Seeing as this tool has recently become available for us, I have pushed it out to course home pages. So you should see it on the course homepage. If you've modified or customized your homepage, it might not have pushed out to you. So you can go over to course customization and learn how to bring it back to your homepage. If you've already customized your homepage, you'll probably already understand this workflow. Next, we're going to look at the Google Meet integration. So I'm going to show you how to add this through your activity feed first. So I'm going to navigate to my activity feed and click on the blue plus sign. From here, I'm going to select Message. Messages need a headline, so I'm going to create one. Now I'm going to navigate to this paperclip, which is called Attached, and click on it. From here, I'm going to go to Existing Activity. Now we're in Quick Links. I'm going to scroll down to Third Party, and this is where you'll see your Google Meet access. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to automatically add a conference. Now, if I'm not ready to release this yet, I can schedule it for a future date and time. So to do that, I'm going to click on Post Later. From here, I can select a day and time that I'd like this Google Meet to become available. And please remember, the teacher will need to be in the session in order for students to join. If you need to review best practices, you can go to our SharePoint, and that address will be shared. So I'm choosing a time, I've got a date, and I'm going to schedule that post. So I'm going to navigate to Save. And now you'll see under my activity feed, I have one planned post. So my students won't see this until the date occurs and the release is made. If I need to edit that, I can go into View Planned Post. You can click on the title, or you can click on the ellipsis points, which does give some more options. If you needed to delete this post, you could do it from here. If you need to edit that message, click on Edit. And then you can click to change your dates and times or cancel editing. Next, we're going to have a look at announcements and adding a Google Meet through that. So I'm going to click on the inverted chevron beside announcements and click New Announcement. Our announcements need a header. And we're going to navigate to the quick link, insert quick links here. So you can add any other text. I'm going to click on insert quick link and navigate down to third party and click on Google Meet. And you'll see a link is inserted into my text. So I might like to modify this a bit to give my students a little bit more information. And then I could go ahead and publish that if it was to be happening immediately and my students would receive a notification for that, or I can schedule it in a similar manner that we did in Activity Feed by choosing a date and time. And I'd recommend that you also put an end date on that to make that link disappear when your conference is over. And remember to follow best practices for setting up your Google Meet once you enter the meeting. So I've got to start and end date and time. I'm going to publish that. And you'll see it's scheduled. It will not be visible to my students until this date and time occurs. So if I go back to the landing place of my course, it won't be posted here. If you need to get in and make any edits, you'll click on announcements, come in, find the inverted chevron beside the meeting, go to edit, make any changes, and then click update. Now I'm going to go to content. So from my navigation bar, I'm clicking on the content icon. And I can add from my Google Drive to any existing tab, or I could create a new tab. So for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to click on New Unit, which just means you're going to make a new tab. I'm going to give it a name. You have the ability inside this HTML space to add any text, quick links, or embed code. I'm going to save this. And now I'm going to add directly from my Google Drive. So I'm going to navigate to Add Existing, click on Google Drive. If it's your first time accessing your Google Drive from your D2L course, the system may prompt you to enter your network credentials to synchronize those two tools together. And once you do that once, it will be connected for you. So you can either navigate to a folder where you have something, or if you want to do a search, you can do that. So I'll demonstrate that. Okay, so I see the element that I want to add. I'm going to click on it, and it says this file is private, change permission, so anyone with a link can view. So I'm going to stick with that so that students in my course can view the document I've selected. I'm going to click select. And from this point, you can see that that principle of designs is there. And if I wanted to make everything visible, of course, I go to my tab and make it visible. So there's a second workflow for content that I want to demonstrate in case you want to create some additional instructions that might not be in your Google Slides or document that you want your students to see. So I'm clicking on Unit 2 again, and I'm this time navigating to Create New. I'm clicking on HTML document. HTML document spaces are all over in our courses. You can find them in other tools, your assignments, your announcements, your calendars. So what I want to do this time is I want to provide a little bit more instructions. So I'm going to give it a title. Then from this space, I can type some instructions. Okay, so I could add some additional instructions. I could add some learning goals, whatever you need to do. Now there's two ways of doing this. The quickest way is to go to Quick Links, Add Link, and you'll find that you can get to your Google Drive here. And once again, similar workflow to where we were just working previously. I'm going to do a little search. You can also just go right to the file or folder in your drive if you want. Selecting the element, I'm engaging with this so that I can keep this visible to my students, and I'm going to bring it in. Okay, so you see it brings in a quick link here. You don't see the picture of it. You might add some more text to this to help your students. So I just added click here so they know what to do. And that will work if you want your students to be able to actually view that document. There's another workflow I'm going to show. So I'm going to open up that document that I've quick linked, and I'm navigating to File, clicking on it, and I'm going to go down to Publish to the Web. And I want the embed code, so I'm going to click on Embed, and I don't need it to do a rotating slideshow, so I'm just going to collect this embed code, Control Copy, head back to my D2L course, move my cursor to where I would like to put it. This time I'm going to insert stuff, and I'm scrolling down to enter embed code. And from here, you'll see that it will embed those slides directly in this HTML page that I was working with. And from here, I can make it visible to my students when I click save. You don't necessarily have to put both of these elements in. You can decide what will work best for your and your students' workflows. So that's the second way to bring in content. So if you wanted to be able to include some other information with that Google element, you can use quick links, or if you want to use embed, those are your two workflow choices. Next, we're going to look at the quick links inside our assignment folder. Please know that it's a very similar workflow to discussions. So I'm clicking on the assignments. I've got an assignment here that I would like to add some instructions to for some Google Slides. So I'm going to click on the inverted chevron and I'm going to edit this assignment. And you'll see I have the same HTML field here. So I'd probably add some text instructions. And then I also want to provide some visual instructions for my students here. So I'm navigating to quick links, scrolling down to Google Drive, navigating to the folder that I would like to draw from, and I'm clicking Training Student, select, and that will be the spot they can click on to get information on how to do this. So I'm just working my way into this text to add some more information. Okay, so when they click on that blue link after I publish this, they will get to see the slide instructions. If you want to embed the slides directly in these instructions, you can navigate to Insert Stuff, scroll down to Enter Embed Code, and bring that embed code in from your publish document, and insert. So now you'll see that those are embedded in there. And then we can go ahead and save and close. And we would make this visible to our students when we're ready for them to see it. And they'll be able to go through the different instructions for uploading from different devices and so on. So please know that the new workflow for students allows them to be able to draw directly from their Google Drive and upload to your assignment folder, and the process actually converts their Google Doc or slides or other product to a PDF, so it will work with the annotation tools. So I'm going to show that workflow now. I'm going to switch courses to a course where I'm enrolled as a student. And so now, pretending that I'm a student, I'm navigating to my assignment folder, clicking on the assignment folder, and now you'll see my teacher had created those instructions for me, so it tells me how to do everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Add a File. And from this drop down, you'll see that I now have a link directly to my Google Drive. So I can click on there. And then it's important that our students name their assignments appropriately so they can find them. And then they will click on whatever item they would like to upload, or they could do a search. They click on it. So students can click on the element they want to upload and click Add. Then they'll see the document is attached here. If they need to redo it, they can exit off and do it again. I do have a full video for students workflow on this, separate from this training, that is linked to Student Help, just so you're aware. So when they're done, they click submit. And then they'll get a D2L email indicating that the assignment has been uploaded. Just a teacher tip, I would allow more than one element to be uploaded to the assignment to avoid problems if students happen to upload the wrong thing and they're unable to change it before they submit it. So you can check out assignment workflow and teacher help to learn more about that. So just to review, Student Help is available from a default navbar. If you haven't edited it out, it should be right in your navbar. Students can access it, and there are tutorials for all the different things they have to do within a D2L course. So you'll see assignments, submitting your files from your computer, uploading assignments from your Google folder. So you could take those directions and copy them right into your course. And there is a video link to those, so you could just do that as well. For those of you who are using Google Classroom and D2L, I'd like to show how you can bring a link to your Google Classroom directly to your D2L course, so your students only have to navigate to one space to find both. So first of all, I'm going to locate my Google Classroom from my waffle and have that link available. Now I'm coming back to my Brightspace course. I'm navigating to the upper right-hand corner of my navigation bar, and I'm going to click on the ellipsis points. From here, I'm going to click Edit this navbar. If you've never edited your navbar before, it will ask you if you want to make a copy of the navbar, and just say yes, because that is what allows you to edit. So I'm going to click on Edit this navbar. Now you'll see from here, there's a button that says Add Links. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Links. Now I'm going to click Create Custom Link. Give it a name. And you might want to put what period it belongs to if you're high school, in case you have more than one of these combinations to do. Now you're going to need the URL. So that's why I said get that ready. So you can just pop back to that tab, copy that, come back to your custom link page and paste that in. Now you don't need to give it a description. You might want to give it an icon. So we're going to go to upload, and in advanced, I prepared an icon that I can use for that. So I'm just navigating to that spot in my computer where I can grab that. I'm going to click on it, double click, and once it's done loading, you'll see it's here. If you need to remove it to add something different, you can click on the X, and then I'm just going to click Create, and it will populate to your list. It's checked off there, and then we'll just click Add. Now, right now it's at the end of all my icons, and I'm going to make it reside in a place that has a little bit more visibility and prime real estate. So if there are any things that you're not using, you can remove them by clicking on an X. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Close. And you'll see now that they could get out to that classroom from their navigation bar. So quick workflow for students. If you want to know more about navbars and creating custom links, you can go to Course Customization under Teacher Help. You could also put this in a widget, and that would also be under Course Customization from Teacher Help. The next workflow I'm going to share is going to be for content, because I know a lot of teachers need their students to make copies of their Google Docs or slides so that the students can work right on their own copy of that document. So I'm going to show you how to make a template. So a template will allow the student to make an easy copy. So you can set up a link that forces a copy, but with a template, it will show a visual of that element, and it will have a button that says Create Template which is a quick workflow for students. So for example, I want to have my students have their own copy of this slide deck because I'm expecting them to interact and write in it. So what I'm going to do is make sure my sharing is set up for view. I'm navigating to the URL and I'm looking for the last backslash, and I'm going to take everything from after that backslash and I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to type template backslash preview. Now to test this, I'm going to take this entire URL, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to open up a new tab and pop it in there to make sure that it's working in the manner that I want. So from here now, all the student would have to do is click use template. So they don't have to go to file and make copy and so on. So I'm going to take this URL, I'm going to copy it, I'm heading back to my D2L course, I'm clicking on the module that I want to embed this into. And now I'm going to go to create new again. And this is going to be a web link this time. I'm clicking the link and give it a title. Now, it's very important that you click on open in a new tab. Otherwise, the functionality won't be there. And I'm also going to make it visible from this point, and I'm going to click save. So here's the template. And when they click on that, it's going to go right here and just instruct them to click on use template, which is less steps than having them having to come in, go to file, make a copy, decide what type of copy. It just is a quicker workflow and it's going to attach right to their Google Drive from there. So that's the workflow for template. So the last workflow I'm going to review today is how you can embed Google products into your announcements. So you'll see I've already done that this morning, and I've set my slides to rotate. This is a good place to put your weekly or daily agenda, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm clicking on the inverted chevron, creating a new announcement. Remember, announcements always need a headline. And I'm going to use a replacement string, capital F-I-R-S-T, capital N-A-N-E. And first name, that will just pull the user's first name into that field there to capture their attention. Okay, so from my HTML page, this works the same as all the other places we've worked through with our HTML page. So I could go through and just do a quick link from my Google Drive. It's not going to create a visual, it will create a link, which is a quick workflow. But if you want to bring in the actual visual, go to those slides that you're going to be using, go to File, go to Publish to Web, and just a hint for announcement size. We're going to go to Embed, and the sizes here don't fit exactly, but what you can do is you can go to Custom and just make the width only 600, and this will be a perfect size. If you want your slides to rotate, then you're going to click Restart the slideshow after and start the slideshow as soon as the player loads. You don't have to do that. I'm going to do it just for sake of demonstration. Click Publish. I'm sure I want to publish. I'm going to copy that embed code back to my announcement. Click on Insert Stuff. Click on Enter Embed Code and paste that code right into that area. Insert. And if I want to publish immediately, just click Publish. I'm going to go back to my course landing page. And then from here, the slides are set to rotate, or if you didn't choose that option, they can just choose a slide or use the arrow buttons to go through. So just to create a little bit more engagement with some color and movement, that's one strategy you can use. So that wraps up our half-hour session. Please know that everything that I demonstrated in this recording has been isolated to individual recordings for each of the workflows, and you can access them through the slides. And the link to the slides will be posted in Teacher Help, and you will also receive the link from Professional Learning after the session is over. Thanks for joining me.